Motorists and consumers will have to tighten their belts some more as fuel and LPG prices shoot up on the first day of the month. One farmers group warns against tight supply and pricier rice in the next couple of months if the country does not import additional grains soon. And suspended Negros Oriental Congressman Tevis claims that he's being used as a cover-up following his designation by a government council as a terrorist. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's a roundup of stories we're watching now. I'm Sean Yao. Consumers were greeted with a price hike on LPG this month. Starting today, August 1, LPG is more expensive by 4 pesos and 55 centavos per kilogram. This translates to an additional 50 pesos for an 11 kg tank. This latest adjustment is on the back of months of rollbacks in LPG prices. Former LPG Marketers Association President Arnel T. explains that the price increase is expected since Western nations are now stockpiling on fuel for winter.
That those countries with winter season, there are stockpiling right now. This is the time and the month that they are continuously for the next 4 months that they will be stockpiling for their requirements in the coming winter season. The OPEC and the OPEC Plus agree with the production cut of 1 million, 1 million liters per day. So that is also a big factor.
And it's not just LPG, but the prices of other petroleum products are also up today, big time. Diesel prices have gone up by 3 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. The price of gasoline was also jacked up by 2 pesos and 10 centavos a liter, while kerosene prices are up by 3 pesos and 25 centavos a liter. This is the third straight week that fuel prices saw a hike, virtually canceling out all the rollbacks since the start of the year. The Energy Department attributes the hike to developments in the global market. But one transport group says the increase is just too much.
Epekto na po ito nung ginagawa ng production cut ni Saudi Arabia ngayong month of July na 1 million barrels of production cut per day. Sa mapa po, sumabay po si Russia na magbabawas din.
Malaki pong kawalan yung pagtaas ngayong araw na ito. Halos 90 pesos yung mawawalang na kita na dapat ito ay naititikom na naidadagdag na sa panggastos ng pamilya ng ating mga driver at mga operator.
Now, speaking of prices, consumers may have to shell out more for rice in the coming months if cheap imports of the staple do not come in on time. The Federation of Free Farmers National Manager Raul Montemayor told the Big Story that there are factors that could influence prices and supply of rice in the Philippines. One of this is India's recent ban on rice exports, which could drive other nations to import grains from Vietnam and Thailand. These two Asian nations are the main rice exporters for the Philippines. Montemayor explained that only private traders can import rice since the rice tariffication law prohibits the National Food Authority or NFA from doing so. The problem is that private traders are hesitant about importation since the prices of rice in the world market are steep at this point in time.
Kukunti yung pumapasok na imports dahil napakamahal, no? That the private sector is scaling back their imports because they are afraid if they will buy at such high prices, they might not be able to sell it here with a profit. If we don't get that extra 1 month supply from imports, after 2 months, wala na tayong bigas. Now, because again, we started July 1 with only 2 months supply. No? And normally that is augmented by imports. If no imports come in, September will be a very critical period for us.
We're bringing you more stories after this quick break. Keep it here on One News. You're still watching One News Now. I'm Sean Yao. The House Committee on Ethics is discussing another suspension against Negros Oriental Representative Arnie Tevis. Recall that the second 60-day suspension against Tevis already lapsed on July 30. The committee will now have to decide whether or not to suspend Tevis again or impose a harsher penalty. According to House Committee Chairman Felimon Espares, the most extreme penalty is expulsion. Earlier today, the Anti-Terrorism Council designated Tevis as a terrorist, along with his brother Pride and several others. With this, the Anti-Money Laundering Council can now control the bank accounts and assets of the Tevises and the rest of the accused.
Alam ko naman that they want to freeze my assets. 'Di ba? Para hindi na ako makagalaw, hindi na lahat. Pero, syempre, hindi naman tayo pinanganak kahapon. Yung sa kapatid ko, not surprised a little bit, but alam kong idadamay nila lahat ng kahit mga hindi dapat. Dahil even my tagging as terrorist, alam ko na namang mangyayari yun dahil desperate move yun. And nalungkot nga ako para sa ibang mga tao dun sa ATC dahil may mga matitino na mga tao dun eh.
Moving on over to sports, where the 63rd Palerong Pambansa has already kicked off. Let's see the grand opening of the National Games, which is coming back after a 4-year hiatus. Marty Bautista tells us more.
Not even heavy rains could stop the return of the Palerong Pambansa after a 4-year break due to the pandemic. The best young student athletes gathered at the Marikina Sports Complex for the opening ceremony Monday. This year's Palero carries the theme Batang Malakas, Bansang Matatag. Even with the downpour, the colorful parade of each region's delegates pushed through at the complex's oval. 9,000 athletes from all 17 regions nationwide will compete in the event's 34 sports. In attendance at the opening ceremony were sports personalities like Eliza Valdez, who led the athletes' oath. The National Capital Region is the team to beat, having dominated the tournament for several years. But this year, other regions are looking to dethrone NCR at the top.
Ano po yung goal nyo sa Palerong Pambansa ngayong taon?
Champion.
Aside from the usual sports, this year's Palero introduced goal ball, specifically made for visually impaired athletes. For 25-year-old John Lloyd, the sport gives them an avenue to show they can be athletes despite their condition.
Kapag ko, isang kailangan ko na madala ko sa Pilipinas ang isang Region 11 at Davao Region. At sa susunod na hindi lang Region 11 at Davao Region, gusto ko yung buong Pilipinas na madadala ko sa ibang.
President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President and Education Secretary Sara Duterte were also present in the event. In his speech, Marcos reiterated his administration's commitment to the support of the country's athletes.
I assure you that this government remains steadfast in developing the prowess of our young athletes and in championing their well-being. This administration believes in the transformative power of sports, not only in improving one's strength and agility, but also in building up character and discipline.
9 venues in Marikina will be used for the sporting events, while 7 other areas outside the city will also be utilized. Meanwhile, LRT Line 2 will give free rides to athletes and delegates of the Palero until August 5. Included in this are the athletes, coaches, and trainers, national and local committee members, volunteers, technical workers, officials, medical staff, and accredited media. Those eligible will just need to present their Palerong Pambansa ID to avail of the free ride. The Palero will take place until August 5. For News 5, Marty Bautista, we are One News.
One News Now will be back tomorrow at 7:30 a.m. I'm Sean Yao. We are One News. All sides, all the time.